This video discusses real criminal cases involving violence and death. Viewer discretion is advised. Some cases happen in seconds, but their legal consequences last for years. Others expose how the justice system handles age, intent, mental state, and responsibility when tragedy strikes. Lola Luna. In January 2021, a week-long social media feud between two 16-year-old girls in Bremerton, Washington, ended in a confrontation that lasted less than a minute. The conflict had escalated through Instagram posts, direct threats, and an earlier clash at a local mall. On January 30th, one of the girls arrived outside Lola Luna's home and threw the first punch. Friends on both sides recorded what happened next. According to evidence later presented in court, Luna's opponent threw about 38 punches. Luna, smaller and physically outmatched, pulled a pocket knife she regularly carried. Within seconds, both teenagers were seriously injured. The other girl, a 16-year-old mother, was airlifted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle but did not survive. Luna was arrested the same day. What happened next became central to the case. Detectives questioned Luna for about 5 hours before telling her the other teenager had died. Only after learning that did Luna request an attorney. Prosecutors argued that Luna had planned the confrontation and pointed to social media posts, including references to violence and imagery inspired by the Purge, as evidence of premeditation. The defense argued that Luna was a teenager caught in a fight she did not start. In late 2023, a Kitsap County jury convicted Luna of second-degree intentional homicide. Judge William Hauer sentenced her to 14 years, with part of the sentence to be served under Washington's juvenile justice system. Then, on October 30, 2025, the Washington Supreme Court overturned the conviction. In an opinion written by Chief Justice Deborah Stevens, the court ruled that Luna's Miranda waiver was not voluntary. The justices cited her age, her lack of experience with law enforcement, and the head injuries she suffered during the fight. The court also found that some social media evidence had been improperly admitted. Her conviction was vacated, and the case was sent back for further proceedings. It has since become an important precedent on juvenile interrogations and teenage defendants. Zoe Cooper. On August 14, 2024, 19-year-old Tadarius Massey, a recent graduate of Ocoee High School in Central Florida, got into an argument with his 18-year-old girlfriend, Zoe Cooper. Investigators said the dispute began over Massey's cell phone and escalated quickly. Authorities later alleged that Cooper used a knife during the confrontation. Massey was taken to Health Central Hospital in Ocoee but did not survive. As detectives investigated, they found signs that this may not have been the first time Massey was hurt. An autopsy revealed older healed injuries, and police recovered photos and text messages from Massey's phone that they believed documented earlier violence. In some messages, prosecutors alleged that Cooper expressed satisfaction over prior injuries. Investigators also spoke with Massey's employer and school officials, who said he had previously talked about being harmed by Cooper. They concluded he had been living with fear and violence for months while still trying to keep up with work and daily life. After the incident, Cooper posted online expressing regret. She later claimed Massey had damaged her belongings and poured alcohol on her, but investigators said they found no evidence supporting that account. No arrest was made for nearly 3 months. During that time, Cooper left Florida and enrolled at Texas Southern University in Houston. Authorities eventually located her there on November 15, 2024. The delay in her arrest became controversial when Florida authorities initially said they would not pursue extradition. After public criticism from Massey's family and supporters, officials reversed course, returned Cooper to Florida, and charged her with second-degree murder. As of the latest public reporting, Zoe Cooper has not gone to trial. No verdict has been reached, and no plea has been entered. Cheyenne Jesse. Some crimes involve strangers. Others involve the people closest to us. In July 2015, 25-year-old Cheyenne Jesse was accused of killing her father, 50-year-old Mark Weekly, and her young daughter inside their Lakeland, Florida home. Prosecutors said the violence was only part of what made the case so disturbing. Investigators alleged that after the killings, Jessie spent days trying to hide what happened. They said she moved the bodies into storage containers, hid them in a neighbor's shed, and used her father's phone to send messages pretending he was still alive. She also reportedly fabricated a story about a terminal illness to explain his disappearance. For nearly 2 weeks, family members believed the story. Eventually, suspicion grew, and they pressured Jessie to report her father and daughter missing. When detectives searched the property, they quickly found evidence suggesting something far more serious had happened. After hours of questioning, Jessie confessed. At trial in 2019, prosecutors argued that she committed the crime so she could move forward with her boyfriend, Matthew Monroe, whom they claimed saw her daughter as an obstacle. The defense argued that Monroe was the real killer and that Jessie only helped cover up the crime. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours before convicting Jessie of 2 counts of first-degree murder and evidence tampering. During sentencing, jurors unanimously recommended the death penalty for the murder of the child and life imprisonment for Mark Weekly's death. In February 2021, Judge Jalal Harb declined to impose death. He cited evidence of severe childhood abuse, neurological abnormalities, major depressive disorder, and bipolar disorder. Jessie received 2 consecutive life sentences without parole, plus 5 years for evidence tampering. She remains incarcerated and will never be eligible for release. Jessica Camilleri. Few criminal cases in Australia have generated as much shock as the case of Jessica Camilleri. On July 20, 2019, emergency responders were called to a home in St. Clair, in Western Sydney. Inside, they found evidence of a violent attack that left 57-year-old Rita Camilleri dead. Rita had spent years caring for her daughter Jessica, who lived with autism spectrum disorder, intellectual disability, ADHD, OCD, and intermittent explosive disorder. According to evidence presented in court, an argument began over a fast food order and about Jessica returning to a mental health facility. The confrontation escalated into a deadly attack. Jessica Camilleri was charged with murder. At trial, psychiatric experts testified about her cognitive impairments, emotional regulation difficulties, and limited ability to understand or control her actions during extreme distress. In December 2020, the jury found her guilty of manslaughter rather than murder due to substantial mental impairment. Her time in custody has also been marked by repeated assaults against correctional staff, which led to additional sentences and delayed her earliest possible release date. Her case still raises difficult questions about mental impairment, disability, caregiving, and violence. These cases are different in nearly every way, but they all leave the same question behind. When tragedy happens, how should the justice system balance intent, circumstance, mental state, and accountability? If you liked this story, please like, subscribe, and support Zitty Shadow for more true crime content.